Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Culz Book Reviews as we continue our look at Billy the Kid history. And this week we take a look at Billy the Kid as he was reported in newspapers from the 1870s and 1880s by David G. Edwards. Now, a lot of work was put into this by the author David G. Edwards as far as researching and collecting different historical newspaper accounts of Billy the Kid. And so I think it was really fascinating to really get that perspective of what the locals and people of the time thought of Billy compared to how we see him now through our historical lens. And what was also interesting is see how many different fabrications there actually were that maybe made Billy out to seem more like a vicious, bloodthirsty killer than what he actually was. And I'll definitely get to that and I'll actually share that story. But some other interesting things was even during the time people were thinking about like who Pat Garrett was and was he actually telling the truth about what happened that night. And in one of the accounts it actually says that people were thinking perhaps the story about Billy, you know, sneaking past the sheriffs wasn't quite true and that Paulita was actually bound and tied. And that's how they killed Billy the Kid. And then they made up the story as far as how Billy died. And so I could definitely see that as far as they were trying to preserve maybe the Maxwell's reputation, perhaps, especially if they were talking about where Billy was headed to Paulita's room in the middle of the night. I guess it was something that her brother didn't want out. And so it was definitely something that should be looked into more as perhaps Billy was actually killed going into Paulita's room and not Pete's. So as you can see, the cover here shows the very famous Tintype picture, which you can see right over there. And of course this has been fixed so that you can see, yes, he has a right-handed gun. Has a title, or at least it says that's Billy the Kid. Then the title, what it is subtitled as he was reported, author's name. It's not too big, white spine as you can see, and just blank background, but there is an ISBN if you need that. So this one clocks in at 152 pages, and the whole time you're reading 152, or earlier you'd be like 62 of 152, which was kind of really nice to see. And as you can do, see it just, hopefully you enjoyed reading the period newspaper articles about Billy the Kid and Pat Garrett. Which, David, if you ever watch this, I did enjoy it. Actually, I really did. It was really a fascinating book. Throughout it, as you can see, it's just different newspaper articles, and then there are pictures throughout, at least telling you the main characters, or at least topics. There's the grave picture. You saw Charlie Beaudry, Tom O'Folliard. And so anything that really kind of helps flush it out. You see William Brady, obviously the one that was killed down in Lincoln. And then at the beginning, or there's Tunstall right there. Right there's Tunstall, and at the beginning it should be Pat Garrett, as well as Billy the Kid. Let's see. And this is what I found fascinating, because even though maybe it does kind of poke holes in the authentic life of Billy the Kid book that Garrett wrote, it does show that maybe not all of it is 100% fiction, which is kind of nice. As well as it shows, perhaps if we're looking, how much we could actually have found out by now if we look in the right place. I'm trying to find the story. But yeah, right here, Las Vegas Morning Gazette, and that's Las Vegas, New Mexico, May 4th, 1881. And it says that Billy actually killed William Matthews. And so, again, it's shown, hey, Billy's ruthless, blah, blah, blah. But then it shows down here, actually he was killed in Roswell, New Mexico on June 3rd, 1904. So definitely not 1881. And so I definitely think that's the biggest takeaway from this is just like how much the newspapers built this aura about Billy being this killer. And, actually he wasn't. Obviously he did kill, but he wasn't killing 23 men or 21 by 21 like they had reported. And they'd actually go and falsely report people he had killed. I thought that was really fascinating. And it was really fascinating to read all the articles, and it really gave you the mindset of all the people there And that, to me, I thought was really cool. Obviously, it's a lot of work to collect all this. So honestly, if we're rating this, at least 8 out of 10. Definitely a must read. I highly recommend it. So if you're ever looking to see maybe, well, some of it obviously is going to be fictional, and the author will tell you, hey, here's when it doesn't match up. But I do want to include it because it's the time, which I thought was really fascinating. But it is worth the read. I definitely highly recommend it. Like I said, 8 out of 10. And it does show you the story we know. He kills Brady, then he's captured, he kills Bob, he kills Bell, he escapes, Garrett kills him. Garrett's on trial, which I found fascinating. Then it tells more about Garrett, who killed Garrett, and then a little bit about Brushy Bill. So overall, fascinating read, quick read, and I just say, pick this up. It's definitely one of the higher rated books I know we've done so far. And yes, if you look, there's that picture. You press on Instagram, so always keep a look on Instagram because we were doing tons of Billy the Kid stuff leading to our documentary. There's the famous Tintype, obviously, but yeah, this one's purported Billy playing poker. Billy's that one on the left. Now it's not authenticated. You'll find places to say it was. I didn't. I don't find it. It is obviously that one is the one true 100%. So I thought I'd share that one because I just got it. But yeah, overall, I recommend it 8 out of 10. Super cool. And if you want to see more Culz Book Reviews, click that link to your left. If you want to see more of what we do here at Culz Paranormal, click that link to your right. And don't forget to hit that like and give us a subscribe. And let us know. Do you think that picture is of Billy the Kid?